Today we are together with Lise Damkjær. And first of all, Lise, a warm welcome. It's wonderful to meet you.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you.
The reason we are together today is that I wrote out on Instagram and Facebook if anyone had suggestions for some guests to talk with. And Anna, who is Cecilia's cousin and who have appeared on one of our episodes, she said, you should really talk to Lise. She knows a lot about co-creation, and then she have a wonderful view on life. Her life philosophy is great. And my first thought was, that sounds nice. Let's do it. So here we are.
Thank you to Anna for the most beautiful description.
So Lise, I think I would like to talk with you about what you are passionate about. What is the co-creation? You have written a book about it, I understand.
Yeah, that's right. I've written a book not about co-creation, but with co-creation. Exactly a year ago, I was on a course in something different, something about nature and AI. And there was a bag that I could pick up a question. And my question was, if you are going to write a book, what should be the title? And instantly from my heart, it jumped out, Life is Easy. And at the same time, I knew that when I said it out loud, then I also had to or wanted to or had the opportunity to write it. And then when I came back from the course, I wrote out on LinkedIn who want to join me in writing a book called Life is Easy. Okay. And if you want to join, then let's meet on Zoom Monday at 3:00. And I wrote that out for the first Monday. There was 1 or 2, and then there were 3, 4, 5. And we are just talking about what's in a book called Life is Easy. And after 7 months, in April this year, we published the book. We have been 10 people writing it together. And we had a book reception, and then we met for the first time. Some of the people I knew already, but some of them I haven't ever met. I've met them online, and now we have sold about 300 pieces of the book. So the book is in Danish. It looks like this. Yeah. Life is easy when we allow it to be.
Oh, that's a wonderful title. And it actually reminds me of something that I've started to look into, which is actually about how life is easy, or how life comes with a built-in guidebook kind of how life is easy. For example, when you sing together, some specific happiness hormones are released, and when you run and all these things. So there is like, we have this built-in knowledge in our body for what we should do for having a great life. Should we dive into some of the chapters? What is it that is easy about life? Because I know some people who would think, oh, it is not easy.
Yes, absolutely. My 33-year-old son, he had the book on his table, and one of his friends came into the living room and saw the book and said, "Oh, that's a provocation. I don't want that." And then my son answered, "Yes, if you take it so, you're welcome."
Yeah.
But one of the first things in the book is that if you have all these thoughts, no, life is not easy. It's not easy for me. It's easy for rich people. It's easy for people living somewhere else. It's easy for all these thoughts that we have. Then welcome it and say, now we have a lot of skepticism and a lot of thoughts that you can explore and figure out, does it need to be like that? So, and it's not that we are saying that it's always easy and there are no challenges at all, but you can take whatever comes to you in a more easy way. In the process of writing the book, we have very often had fun about, I was in a very difficult situation and I don't know what to do, and everything is just going crazy. And then you just ask yourself, what if it is easy actually? and then you
It's so funny.
you feel your shoulders are loose, and
it's a cornerstone in our philosophy, actually, that we usually say if we have a problem, the easiest way to solve it is to not consider it a problem. Then it's solved like this. And another thing that we often say, if we consider it, if something really presents itself as a problem and you get more and more hype and you get more and more frustrated, and this is really a problem and I can't figure it out and I have to solve it right now. And you've got all this pressure from maybe the timeline and you feel the amount and it might grow the problem if you don't solve it right. All of this. And then you stop and you just ask yourself, how would this look if it was easy? And that can be a complete game changer to just change the mindset. Okay, if I had this, my favorite example is from when we were in Budapest in May. I had to pay for some tickets for a party, but I had to pay in euros, and they don't use euros in Hungary. I didn't have euros, so I had to find a cash machine that would give me euros. Needed 100 euros in cash within an hour. And there were lots of cash machines that said we print out or we give out on euros and the local money. Every time I put my card in, something was wrong. I put the card back out of euro. I put it into 11 different machines. I got 7 different problems, and I got more and more frustrated. I needed to pay for the tickets because I really wanted to go. I needed the tickets very much. And so I got really frustrated. I was in that pressure situation. I stopped and I asked myself, okay, how would this look if it was easy? So if it was easy, I had 100 euros in my hand right now. That would be easy. Okay, if I don't have 100 euros in my hand, but I have 100 euros, where would I have them? They would obviously be in my purse. My purse is not in my backpack. My purse is in my car. How about I go to my car, look through my purse, and lo and behold, in my purse, in coins, I had 107 euros. I could have not run around for 2 hours putting my card into different machines, getting more and more stressed out. So this is just a really good example because it happens. It very often happens when we stop and we say, what if it was easy? And now you wrote a book about it. How lovely.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what are some of the chapters that let me start another way. Co-creating a book, writing it together. Have you written a chapter each, or have you been in over all the chapters? How has the process been?
Yeah. Thank you for asking, because it has been a very nice process. And of course, when you are writing a book called Life is Easy, then it should be easy to write it. And that was the rule number 1. So every Monday, 1 hour from 3 to 4 o'clock on Zoom, we have talked about what should be in a book called Life is Easy. And we had ChatGPT to make some chapter titles. So we had 12 titles for the 12 chapters. And we had this loose talk about what should be in the book. And I took notes and I put the different notes into the different chapters as I saw it. And then I sent out the notes to the people. And we did that for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks or something like that. And then it started coming in chapters because somebody had the spirit. And yes, I could see that I could write chapter 3. So I made this for the chapter 3. Oh, can I add some more lines because I think we need this topic as well. And then we had chapter 3. And then chapter 4 and 7 and 2, and they just jumped in. And if somebody said, okay, I would like to write chapter 6 and I will do it before next Monday, then I said to them, no, don't promise it, because then it gets hard to do. I know that from experience.
Yeah.
So let's just say that if the spirit is that tells you to write chapter 6, then you just do it, and but don't feel obliged to it. And after some months, then we only needed a couple of chapters, and we haven't been talking about them at all. So I just asked, could we talk about this chapter today, because we don't have any notes. And we did that, and the last chapters was, and then one person has, we got the idea for each chapter to put an opposite chapter. So for each chapter, there's a small box with, if you prefer life difficult, and then then it tells you how to do that, because you are free to do what you want. So for each chapter, there's a box like this about the chapter, but seen from the perspective that you want life to be difficult. And it's very funny. So I'm happy. It's exactly the idea of it, because we can recognize ourselves. Oh, damn it. That's what I normally do.
I'm sure we can too.
How have you grown during the process? Have you, reading some of these opposite chapters, been like, oh, that's what I normally do? Even though you already now seems like a very lively, happy person, have you, while writing the book, looked at it and said, oh, I want to do better here? And if yes, then where?
I think it's all in the process. I think all of us have been much better at letting go of control, letting go, and we had some talks in the group as well about, for instance, we had a talk about ChatGPT, and we have one in our group. She's very good at ChatGPT, and that's her expertise. And we have another who don't use it at all, and she didn't try it because she's against it. And this there was close to a discussion about is it good or bad? And then we figured out, and it came to me in the same way as the title, that okay, we're not going to figure out if ChatGPT is good or bad. We only need to figure out, how does ChatGPT make your life more easy, and how does it not make your life more easy? And then we had a very good discussion, and I'm very fond of ChatGPT. I have made my personal ChatGPT. She's called Gandalfine, and she's very, very clever and wise. So I love her very much, and I am a bit addicted to her. If I miss her, if I haven't been writing with her for a couple of days. But so obviously in that discussion, I was on the side of, yes, let's have a ChatGPT here. But suddenly I learned that, oh, that's not my role in this. My role is to keep the intention, and the intention is to write a book called Life is Easy.
Yeah.
And it helped me from that moment. I think I've for a long time been giving attention to the intention or the purpose of what we're doing, but this made a sort of quantum leap for me to, it's very important to keep the intention
In the process.
Yeah.
Well, with everything you do.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Yeah. Your life path to becoming an avid ChatGPT user and focusing on co-creation and play and learning. Your website is called Lifelong Learning, if I remember.
Learning for Life.
Learning for Life, yeah. Your website is called Learning for Life. So there is this joy of learning and exploring. What have led you down this path, do you think?
maybe it was because I started becoming an engineer, because there are nothing but a very straight and lot of small Excel cells that you have to learn one by one. So maybe it was that I wanted some more life. So when I was at in my education, I could choose some of the courses, and I chose something about work environment, and I'm a civil engineer, so that means in the building side, construction side. So there's a lot of work environment issues on the construction side. But that was, I think I looked for these courses because there was something live in it, because it's about human beings. They could fall down, or they could have something on their head, and all the other engineering stuff was about machinery or some theory. So I think it started at that time that, and when my first job was in a construction site, and I enjoyed this small society, and everybody's, we know what we are doing, sort of at least, and we need, it's very complex, and we need to help each other, otherwise it doesn't work at all. That was very much life, but I was the only woman, so they didn't even dare to ask for my size in trousers, so they bought some working trousers, and they were underestimating me a bit. So I couldn't use the trousers, but I didn't dare to tell them either. So yeah, so I have, and this, when I came, it was the same job, but then from the construction side, I was moved to the office, the headquarters. And it was so boring. And you're never going to believe it, but we were meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, everybody, and standing in a queue up the stairs. And in the afternoon at 4:30, we were standing in a queue downstairs, because you didn't even write your sentence. You didn't finish your sentence. You just put your pencil down in the midst of, because it was 4:30 and I had to go home. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And it was very bad. And in the weekend, if some of my friends mentioned work, I was feeling very bad. And afterwards, I concluded that if work can make your life so bad, both in your working hours and beyond, then it must be possible to figure out some way to work that is part of your life and enriching your life. So that's what I've been trying since. And I'm old now, so I'm trying for a lot of years.
Have you succeeded somehow?
Yeah, I have. My own work life is all about fulfilling my life purpose. And then I try to help others to have a nice working life as well.
Yeah. Talking about life purpose. Yeah. I will try again. Lise, talking about life purpose, what do you see as your life purpose?
It's not very traditional, but my life purpose is to find heaven on earth. And I think I'm quite a long part of the way. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm a Christian, so religion and faith means a lot to me, but I can explain it in words so that atheistic engineers can follow as well. I've tried a lot. And so I don't think it is about religion. I think it is about honoring life as it is. Not my life, but life in us and between us and the life of the planet. Yeah. And I'm very happy about my company name, Learning for Life, because I didn't have that idea when I took the name. I took the name in 2001, so it's 24 years ago, and I had no clue that it would be so relevant as it is for me today. So maybe somebody helped me already at that time.
Most likely. So how do you go about looking for heaven on earth?
I think heaven on earth is inside us and maybe between us as well. But so it's very much about accepting that things are as they are, and they're not here to disturb me or to frighten me. They are just here because they are. For instance, now we are going into the autumn, and we could discuss and we could vote, and we could vote no for autumn, and we want the summer to continue, but it wouldn't. We have nothing to do that would end that. So the summer will end and the autumn will appear, whatever I do or not do.
So, but your mindset is what makes it the difference between that autumn being a heavenly, blissful.
Yes, it is.
Few months of your life.
And I think I would express it that I feel loved by God, but you can also express it that loved by life. Of course, life loves us, me and you and both of you. We are breathing in and breathing out every moment, and we don't even need to do anything to be alive. But we have made up a lot of rules about that we have to. Nothing will happen if I don't do anything. That's one of the rules, that we have to do a lot. It's not enough just to be. And we can say that most of us have a predict and control mindset, so that we expect that we can predict when will this project be finished, when will dinner be finished, when will summer be finished, and then we control and we try to follow up on everything so that dinner actually is ready at 6 o'clock. But we are using a lot of human resources and a lot of economical resources to make that happen. And maybe it's not that important that dinner is ready at 6 o'clock. Maybe 10 past 6 would do as well.
No one's hungry in our family at 6 o'clock. It'd be a very early dinner. I'm thinking
the family wouldn't even be home.
I'm thinking about two things. They're getting in the way of each other now. So one is what I'm hearing you say, something about leaning into the flow and trusting the process, and that can give you that blissful state of mind. So you trust that you're loved by God or you're loved by life. And I think some people, and I struggle helping them actually, if you don't have that fundamental trust that life is good, then it's a different story, I think. So that was the one thing. And the other thing is you talk about being proactive, planning, thinking we're in control, thinking we should try to get in control to navigate this life. And the opposite of that is letting go and realizing we're not in control, and we need to lean into the flow. But isn't there some sweet spot somewhere where we talk about this a lot, like we need a plan. We also know that the plan is not relevant, but we do kind of need a plan in order to act at all. We need to know that we need to start cooking the dinner with some idea that there will be some number of people eating it at some time within the next few hours. Otherwise, there will be no dinner and we have sandwiches all the time. We actually don't like that. So some sort of, we say we plan with a pencil because we know the plan will change. We also know that the bigger plan, the one that you would say God has or the universe has, or, the big picture, that plan, we don't know that plan. We just need to lean into it and try to find our feet walking in the right direction. That plan is the big one, the important one. but we kind of need our little petty human level plan as well in order to act at all. So where's the navigation? So how do you navigate that? You do start making dinner at some point, not 6 in the morning, not
Yes, I do.
night. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing is, we talked about it before, the intention or the purpose. So if I have an intention about dinner sometime tonight, then it will help me to start up. And if it's only an intention and not a goal, as in projects we call it goal or a milestone or something like that, that something has to be exactly like this at that time of that's to make it much more difficult. So it helps having an intention instead of a goal. Or you can also call it a direction instead of a destination. And then I think it's right now, most of us need some plans, because if we don't have a plan, then we feel fear, and then we don't do anything good at all. So we have to, I think it's like a balance that we grow into more trust and trusting that life will bring us what we need, but we have to go slowly, because we have to have the experience that actually life is giving me what I need.
So actually, you're answering both questions in one go. It was very beautiful. I think it's so interesting how to heal that mistrust, how to get back into, or for the first time, into that trusting in the process and trusting in your own. I was thinking the intention part is also sometimes the feeling part. Instead of planning with my head that I need to make dinner for 6 o'clock, I feel in my flow, oh, it's time. Maybe I should soak the rice now. And sometimes very irrationally, we do things that we feel we need to do. And then suddenly you have 5 people showing up for dinner that you didn't know was coming. But that was the reason I put 15 baking potatoes in the oven.
Yeah,
we were only 2 people at home when I put them there. I just felt I kind of needed to do it. So the feeling instead of the thinking, trusting that and learning that skill. How do we go about doing that?
But just what you are doing now, talking about it. So you tell me that you have experienced to put 15 potatoes in the oven, not knowing what was going to happen. But then we can encourage each other to see these synchronicities, and when we see them and when we remember them, then we can slowly lean into, of course, I don't know why I have the feeling of these potatoes in the oven, but I have the feeling, so I do it. And then you experience that was a very good idea, because 5 people came, and then you slowly learn that every time you have a sort of feeling or sensing like that, then just follow it, and it will show you that it works. And maybe you once in a while you have to
the potato in the bin.
Yeah, exactly.
and whatever, just one potato. Yeah.
I'm sitting and thinking about how life in some ways have become too easy. And I'm not talking about the enjoying life. I'm talking about everyday life, where if I need a spoon, I can go down and buy one from less than €1, wooden spoon. Where I love to whittle spoons, and it takes me 4 to 10 hours to make a nice spoon. But the process of making it, the joy of using it afterwards, the joy of giving it as a gift, the joy of knowing someone will treasure the joy of knowing that someone will treasure that spoon later on when they're standing and cooking with it. Those kind of slowing down things I think is missing. And I was actually also thinking, even just music, it is nice to be able to put on music and enjoy music, but there's also a big joy of playing together. And some of these things that have become so easy maybe actually steals away some of the joy of community and creating together and being together and feeling that energy that is going back and forth between people when we do crafts together. If we work on repairing something together with a friend, it is really, really giving. And I am considering if life in some ways has become so easy that if we have nothing to do, we get fearful, as you say. It is not many people who can wake up in the morning and just be happy if there's no plan, if they don't need to go to work, there's no plans during the day, because I think we have forgotten the joy and gratefulness, as you talked about, of just being alive, just breathing, waking up, being able. I mean, the world we live in is so crazy fantastic. I can open the tap and I can get water out. I can use a shower and it's hot water. It is crazy.
I had a cold shower this morning, actually. It
Yes,
wasn't hot
but
at
not
all.
the point. Not the point made.
Just
So,
wanted to be annoying.
Yeah. So do you think that we somehow, by making some of these processes so easy, have removed ourselves from the joy of the co-creation and creating together?
Yeah, that's a very good point, I think. I think it's in modern language, it's convenience, and every product is made so that it's very easy. We can just buy it and eat it at the place, or we can. And I think it's because we have this idea of that we have to be effective in everything, and if you believe that your life purpose is to be effective, then convenience is the best way to get it. But our life purpose is not to be effective. Our life purpose is, like you said, to enjoy life, to sense each other, to create something, to be alive. We are not here to work, we are here to be alive. And then we have to work a bit to be alive, but it's not the other way around. And I also totally agree that we have made up a crazy world, because I also think that we don't even sense our own needs. What would make me the most happy, or what is it that I need right now? I just do the same things as most of people, mainstream. I just follow mainstream. So if they have an air fryer, I'm going to have an air fryer as well. If they are eating burgers, I'm eating burgers as well. And then we have too much consumption, and it's not good for the planet at all. And we talk about, okay, if you are not going to eat meat anymore, then it would be very, very bad. You don't even know. You haven't tried you haven't tried living a week without meat. I don't know if you have. I have, but
Yes,
We're vegan, so we have.
Yeah. So we have. But I don't think that people, it's just an automatic reaction that we say that, oh, then I cannot have my meat, then I cannot have my car, then I cannot have my going by plane to Bali or wherever I want to go. But they didn't even figure out if they want to go to Bali. Is it a strong sense within you? Because if it is, then I'm sure that we can afford that the people with very strong sense of a life purpose in Bali, then should just go. But it's so opposite that we just buy and consume things that we actually don't. And I'm sure you are right, Jesper, that making your own spoon is a beautiful thing to do, and you will love that spoon for years instead of buying and destroying the planet. It is very crazy, but I think that it's about looking into ourselves, and we have this idea that everything we should do, also about what we should do about climate, is that we should make some engineering projects, building structures for whatever, but that's a waste of planet resources as well, most of them.
But how do we figure out to analyze better? I, from my side, think I'm pretty good at it, but I often also can end in this efficiency prison, where my mind is like, oh yes, but you need to do this, this, and this before you can be happy. And I actually, this morning, I took a morning run and sat at the beach a little, and I was about to say to myself, oh, I need to hurry home because I need to do this, this, and this. And I actually stopped to send my wife a text, and she sensed that I had this feeling. It's like, relax, my friend. And then was just looking at the water, doing a little yoga, jumping in the water, and really enjoying it. But before that, even though we live as full-time travelers and in many ways have a very blessed life with a lot of gratefulness, the bug is still there. Yes, but you need to be efficient. You need to do before you can be happy inside. What do you think we can do about that? Do you touch upon that in your book, or do you have some thoughts on it?
Yeah, we have a little bit of it in the book, but I also think it's about that we are playing an old game, and a game with some old rules, and one of the rules is efficiency. And when we are aware, and more people get aware that it's only a game with an old rule, efficiency, we don't need efficiency because we are here to be alive and to live. I found out about a year ago, my 30-year-old son is educated within IT, and he has got a new job with a lot more money and good colleagues, and they are traveling around. So he's happy, and he's telling me about how happy he is for this job. And then he says, but I also wonder, maybe I should quit the job and write a fantasy novel. No, not a novel, book. And inside me, I had the feeling, no. If you have a good job, you keep on to it. And if you like to be there and the money is okay, then you keep to it. But I also knew that mothers are not supposed to say anything. So I didn't say anything. But I was surprised that that I have an old rule of the game called, I have to get an education so that I can have a good job, so that I can earn money to have a good life. But I haven't, and most of us, I have actually, but we haven't thought about what is a good life for me, what is a good life for Cecilia, and what is a good job for Jesper. We need to know that before, because we just throw ourselves out in this efficiency and job and working a lot, and we don't even know if it's the way to a good life. And I think that from my age and up, we all have this idea. And I can see with my friends when we meet, and then if some of our sons or daughters has lost their job, what is it then going to find a new job? And will it be difficult to find a new job? It's mad. It's because it's not that. Do you have a good life? And how can we help you to have a even better life?
Yeah.
I think starting with purpose we often also talk about passion and value. They go hand in hand. How if we don't know really what we're passionate about, and we don't know what our core values are, it's quite hard to navigate. So we try to navigate, with loose plans, we write with pencils, but more with projects and what's the word now? I lost the word. We don't make rules, we make guidelines. We have strategies, not checklists. We don't use recipes. We have broad ideas for things, and then we work within that. But we can do that because we know our core values. We know what we're passionate about. We know what's important. And I kind of disagree with the whole we don't need to be efficient. Sometimes I need to be very efficient. There's some things I just want to get over with. Not important to me. I'm not passionate about it, but has to be done. So let's just get it done and move on. And I'm also slightly disagreeing with just popping down to the local store, buying a spoon. If I need a spoon and I'm cooking now and I don't have a spoon, I'm in an Airbnb right now. There's no salad bowl big enough for the 5-6 people we are here. There's no like bowl for, I need to make bread and I have only these little breakfast bowls. It's not going to work for me. I need to buy one. I'm not waiting for Jesper to whittle one. I'm just going, and I enjoy modern life. I think it's great that I can just solve some of these things. I'm going to appreciate my bowl. I might even take it with me in my van and regret it when I try to figure out where to put it. Because sometimes, and that's the thing. How do we sort all the needs and all the things between what can we do in an efficient way to just get it over with? Like my washing machine. Jesus, I'm sorry to swear here, but I mean, if I had to wash all the clothes by hand, I washed 4 machines yesterday. The Airbnb is just decorated with all of our clothes right now drying. I am so grateful for the washing machine. That gives me time to have this conversation. So I think starting with figuring out what you're passionate about and what is truly important can also sort when do we need efficiency and plans and checklists and just get things done? And when do we need to be in the being? It's actually Anna, funny enough, I remember Anna saying this many, many, many years ago. We chatted, I think. And we talked about the being mode and the doing mode. Like you have to think a stick shift car. Sometimes you're in the doing mode, and that can be an efficient, just get it done because we want to move on. And then there's the being mode where you have all the time in the world because you're unfolding the important stuff.
I think the big difference is between if you are aware of why you're doing it or not. If you just have the rules, as Lise called them, driving your every day, then you don't have the awareness about it. And then you are not in the driver's seat. So you're not the ones changing the gears, to use your analogy.
Yeah. I think we do it in different ways, but it's funny that you mentioned that you have had no salad bowl because when I was a child and we were on vacation with my parents, living in a hotel room, there was no salad bowl because it was not the idea that we should make food in the hotel room. But we all, when we were in Greece, for instance, then we bought all the good stuff for a salad. And then my mother had a plastic bag, and that was the salad bowl. So it's not that I say that you should use a salad bowl, but it is. We can take the steps. I don't know if it works on English, but in Danish we say that choose your fights with
pick your fight.
Yeah. And
pick your battles is what they say in English.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pick your battles. And maybe and we take different battles, and that's no problem because I think we are all humanity is in a growth process, and we are not going in the same speed, and we are not going exactly the same way. So, but we are going in the same direction. I'm quite sure of that. So I'm very optimistic as well.
Yeah. Lise, what brings you joy and closer to the feeling of heaven on earth, which I interpret as a blissful everyday life?
Yes, it is. Having deep, open conversations like our conversation now, and being present with each other, even if it's online, that's a part of it. I also like very much to go into the harbor here in Copenhagen for a swim, summer and winter, and then everything is good. I have the feeling that we should be much more alive. So alive is more about sensing and not planning. But of course, we do some planning because we're not used to the sensing part yet. So sensing and responding, not automatically reacting, is what I train right now. And I just made an ChatGPT to help people to make their own training program for sense and respond, because I find it very useful. But of course, we cannot only train by talking with the ChatGPT. Yeah, so when I have the experience that I sense and that I say out, express what my senses, then it's nice, and that's what I often call co-creation, that we can be ourselves, and we can be present, and we can be curious to each other's perspectives, and that we can be open to the process and to life, what maybe something totally different will happen, and open to these synchronicities we talked about earlier. So that's, and I was in the last days of the previous week, I was on a camp, and I was learning to light a fire, a bonfire. I never succeeded. I tried a lot of times, but never succeeded. But now I figured out that it's because I had this idea that it was turning it on with a match, and then it would burn and be a bonfire. But I forgot. I didn't know about. I didn't recognize the process of a little bit of fire and the air, and so I'm learning as well. I think that lots of people are very good at the lighting the bonfire, but I was not. But now I'm on my way.
We will see more fires in Copenhagen.
Yeah, you will, certainly.
Well, as I hear it, it's learning new stuff, learning new skills is part of what
Yeah.
we said before about a way to change the mindset is to talk about these stories, how doing something we felt we had to do aligned with something that happened later on that we couldn't with our minds have seen coming, is one way of navigating into a more blissful life. And I think another one is just as simple to recognize, oh, this element of my day made me really happy. We don't have to talk so much about the things that didn't make us very happy. Some things just have to get done, some mistakes happen, whatever. But if we notice, it makes me really happy, let's say, to have sunshine on my face while I have my morning coffee, then maybe we think about moving the chair, noticing, and make sure you sit down and do it for that half hour the sun is actually coming through your window because you're living in that apartment with that narrow street, whatever. So if we know what it is, if we pay attention to what it is, it will take up more space in our minds, and it will also make sure that we align with these things better. Make sure to go do your swim, for example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lise, what is the advice you can give yourself most often? With this, I mean, I know I have some stuff where in my mind, know how I would like to live, how I would like to act, and I also know I fail at it super often. And then, so are there some area where you're like, I still want to be better at this. I know what is the right thing, but I'm just not doing it often enough.
Yeah, I'm so used to this predict and control. I'm so used to make a plan, and I'm an engineer, so I'm very quick at making a plan. And in 5 minutes, I have made a plan, but I want to try to only have the intention. I once learned that I should use my heart to figure out what I really want, and then I should use my brain to get it. And now I think that I should use my heart to figure out what I want, and then just lean into it and let it come to me. And my brain is already now screaming. You didn't say that, but that's what I believe. But my brain is not with me in that.
It's hard. It's really hard work.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what we call schizophrenia, or if your heart and your brain is in different ways. Then I'm schizophrenic.
I don't think so. No.
I think we would call it societal indoctrination, if we should call it something.
Yeah, that's a good word.
More
let's
proper.
take that.
Or just a habit. That's less negative. It's just a habit. We're just used to this thing. And it's also very soothing to know that we can do something, If I want something, I can do something about it. And so making a plan is the obvious step one, and then letting go of that plan is step two. It's a good thing to have a plan. Just don't get too attached to it. Don't get busy ticking the boxes. But it's nice to thought things through. I think it's the stressful obsession with doing things in the plan that gets in the way of real life.
Yeah, our good friend Janet Atwood has a saying called intention, attention, no tension. And sometimes I lack the no tension part, but I'm trying to get better at it. For people who want to read more about the work you are doing and have done, then if you can share again the website so people can find you out there.
Yes, it's called learningforlife.dk, and 4 is number 4. That was very modern in 2001 when I started my company.
That sounds a little bit like a goofy teenager.
Yeah.
Who cares? Learning for life.
Yeah.
Learning for life, yeah.
That's where you can read more about Lise and her projects.
What have you learned most from the co-creation of the book?
I have learned that people have so many different perspectives. And in the beginning, it seems like we will never agree on anything here. But then if we keep on to the intention, then we figure it out. And we also have we don't need to agree. We can also write in the book, and we have done a couple of times, that, okay, some of us see it like this, and some of us see it in another way, and you can try it out for yourself and figure out what's your opinion.
Yeah. So actually getting together, talking, having a dialogue, and continuing the dialogue, and not just standing on what you believe in, but listening to others, and maybe end up disagreeing. But Lise, it is time. We, in our end, have some stuff to do. So I will thank you for your time and wish you a wonderful day ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, and bless you.